Hello, and welcome to my Milestone 2 tutorial about Google Classroom. First, I would like to take a moment to discuss why Google Classroom should be integrated into any classroom. Let's start off by picturing a classroom environment where there is disorganization, such as students missing due dates, losing papers, communication between students and teachers is limited or slow, or collaborative work is put on hold because the person with the materials was absent that day. Now picture a classroom that uses Google Classroom, which is a singular platform that can organize teachers and students, push out reminders for due dates, allow for timely communication, and house collaborative work materials that can be assessed anywhere, anytime. For teachers, Google Classroom provides a space where they can post interactive and engaging assignments, personalize learning, and promote good digital citizenship by teaching students how to communicate responsibly online, providing safe collaborative spaces, and respect for intellectual property rights. When it comes to meeting the ISTE standards for students, Google Classroom has the power to meet them all. Let's start with the Empowered Learners 1.1c and Digital Citizenship Standard 1.2c, which asks students to seek feedback and information and/or improve their learning and to engage in positive, safe, and legal behaviors when interacting socially online. Google Classroom provides a space for students to write private and/or public comments to their teachers and each other that can inform and improve their learning. It also provides students with a safe space to positively interact with one another. As knowledge constructors, Standard 1.3c asks students to gather information from a variety of digital sources. This can be done in Google Classroom, where students can create a Google Slide or Doc where they can store and collect resources for any project. Students can meet the Innovative Designer Standard 1.4b, which asks students to choose a digital tool that can help them plan and manage the design process within Google Classroom by uploading and sharing things like mind maps, collaborative drawings, or any other digital tool compatible with Google Classroom to share and/or create any project. Standard 1.5b from Computational Thinkers asks students to use data sets and digital tools to analyze and represent data. This can be done through Google Sheets in math classes, for example, where they are working on ratios, or science classes, where they are analyzing how heating water at different temperatures can cause some things to melt and other things to burn. As creative communicators, Standard 1.6d asks students to publish or present their work for an intended audience. Google Classroom allows students to create a multitude of creative works, from slides to drawings to having the ability to make videos outside Google Classroom and upload them as a link. Lastly, as global collaborators for Standard 1.7a, students are asked to use digital tools to connect with learners on a global scale. Google Classroom allows for just that. For example, students in different countries can work collaboratively on a shared Google Doc to debate topics. They can hold Google Meets where they can discuss various topics virtually or collaborate on a drawing advertising the importance of diversity. Google Classroom is an easy and intuitive tool that anyone can use. Google Classroom is free to users who have a Gmail account. Therefore, teachers and students must have Gmail accounts to be part of a Google Classroom. This tool can be used on a laptop, mobile, or tablet device. However, I find the laptop computer version to be more user-friendly. For this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create a Google Classroom. To create a Google Classroom, you need to go to the top right-hand corner where you have a plus sign. The plus sign allows you to join a class or create a class. So here we will create a class. Because this Google Classroom is not part of a school, it's asking me to sign up for Google Workspace for Education. I understand that I am not making this for an educational purpose, therefore I will read and understand the directions and continue. Once your class is created, this pop-up screen will appear where you are required to name your class. So for this class, I will call it Practice 3. I can fill in the section, subject, and room number if I desire, but in this case, I'm just going to go with the required Practice 3 class. And I create. Once your class is created, your Google Stream main page will pop up. The Stream is a home page where you can post announcements, customize your class banner, view the joining class code, and students can see upcoming due dates. To customize your stream, click on the gear to see the settings menu, which is down here in the lower right-hand corner. Here you can manage the content features of the stream and classwork. In the stream, Google Classroom defaults to students being allowed to post and comment. However, you can change this to allowing students only to comment, or only teachers can post and comment. Personally, I like to turn this feature off until I have taught students how to be responsible when using this feature to communicate publicly within their classroom. The stream also keeps a running list of what is being posted in the classwork section of Google Classroom. You have the option of showing all the attachments and details, condense notifications, or to hide notifications. I personally like to hide notifications because I find it can be confusing for students or make the space feel cluttered as it populates a running list of things. However, even with the notifications hidden, you can still push out announcements to your classes using the stream. Another feature I'd like to show you is the deleted items feature. You can turn this feature on or off by sliding or toggling here. If you turn on the feature, the deleted items will appear on your screen but blanked out, whereas live stream items will appear as lit up. This is a great feature if you accidentally deleted something from your stream and need to look at it again. Here in the settings, you can also set up a Google Meet link for remote meeting days. The grading feature of Google Classroom is a great tool that automatically populates grades for teachers, saving them time. Here you can set up default grades for missing assignments, choose how your grades will be calculated, such as by points or weighted by category, and you can turn on or off the overall grade for all students. The grade category feature allows teachers to set up categories such as tests, quizzes, homework, and apply specific weights for each one. This is a great tool for competency-based schools. They can add their specific competencies and apply weights to critical competencies. When finished with your settings, you will save at the top to apply your changes. Google Classroom also allows teachers to customize each class banner, which is helpful when you teach several classes. Teachers have the option to customize the color and pictures displayed in the banner. Some teachers I've worked with like to take a picture of their class and use that as their banner. Other teachers like to upload pictures related to their classes, whereas others would rather use the Google class choices you can see here. On the top right of your stream page, you have access to your Google Calendar and Google Classwork Drive folder. These are handy tools when you want to look at a specific class and work for that class in a clean, singular space. Another feature on the stream page I would like to show you is found on the left-hand side menu, here called Settings. Here, you can manage your email notifications, comments, and classes you teach, depending on what you would like to have emailed to you. However, if you want to turn off all notifications from a particular classroom, you can do so at the bottom of Settings. So here you can see I have 3 classrooms. Let's say I don't want to receive any notifications from Practice Class 2. I simply turn it off, and I'm done. In this setting menu, you don't need to click on a Save button because changes are saved automatically. The last feature I would like to show you on this page is the Archived Class page. This is a great tool for those times when you want to restore or copy a class you have already used. Here, if you click on the 3 buttons, you are given the options of copy, restore, or delete. You do have the option of permanently deleting your class. However, I usually delete classes that I rarely use or have made by mistake. Let's go back to the practice class so I can show you how to set up what I call the meat and potatoes of Google Classroom, the classwork page. Let's start by clicking the Create button. Here I have the options to create an assignment, quiz assessment, question, post a material, reuse a post, or to create a topic. I typically create topics when I'm creating an assignment, which I will demonstrate shortly. Let's start with creating an assignment. Once I click on Create an assignment window pops up where I must create a title for my assignment. In my district, we organize our classrooms by week. Therefore, the title that I would write would be something like this. I like to use emojicons to help kids organize. Here I have a sailboat. I would title it 11/1, Friday, day of the week, and our topic will be Mesopotamia. Down in the instructions settings, you can simply type directions for your assignment, but I like to type my instructions more like an agenda. For example, my agenda looks something like this, where students have bell work, a lesson, and homework instructions that I can add to. Again, these are optional. From there, you have the option to upload a document from Google Drive, a YouTube link, create a new Google Docs sheet, slide, and so on. You can upload a file from your computer, or you can upload a link from a website. For demonstration purposes, I am going to create a document for my students and call it Mesopotamia. Here in the document, I will ask students to put their name and add some directions. Here I have asked my students to choose one invention from Mesopotamia to research and then use this document to list their information. When you create an assignment, you have the benefit of allowing students to only view the file, edit the file, or make a copy for each student. In this case, I'm going to make a copy for each student so that they have their own work. Ideally, I would also add links for my students to help them with their research. Here on the right-hand side, you have a lot more options as far as what you can do with your assignment. So for example, there's a drop-down menu here for I can assign it now. I can schedule it, which is a great feature when you want to set up your Google Classroom for the week and have it automatically populate. I can save a draft, or of course I can discard. The benefit to saving a draft allows you the ability to go back and make edits. For example, if I were to assign this assignment now, and I had it on student can view file only, I would not be allowed to go back and change that. I would have to delete the entire assignment and start over in order to be able to make a copy for each student. Therefore, saving things as a draft is a great way to make sure that you haven't made any mistakes before you push it out to students. Here I can assign my assignment to multiple classes, which is a time saver. I can assign it to particular students. I can determine points or have it ungraded. I can put a due date in. I can also create a topic directly from the assignment. So in this case, my topic might be something like, I'll use my emoji again, 10:30 through 11:1 assignments. I can also create a rubric from this space without having to leave. I can reuse a rubric that I've used before. I can import one from Sheets. But for tutorial purposes, I will create a rubric. When you get to the rubric, you must title it. In this case, I will call it Mesopotamia Research. I can give my criterion a description, but in this case, I don't need to. Down here, I can add a description of what a one-level point looks like, and I could title my level Novice, and the description could be something like a student struggles with thorough research. From there, I can add additional criterions, and the points will add up here as a total when I'm finished. And I'll delete this level, and I can save it. So now I have a rubric that is automatically populated. At this point, when I'm ready, I can assign my work to my students. And here it will populate in my topic that I've already created. Now let's say I want to create a quiz assignment. Here again, I would need a title. I'll call this Mesopotamia Quiz. And Google Classroom offers me a blank quiz where I can put my questions, along with the options of adding things from Drive, YouTube, creating a new assignment, uploading, linking. The side is also the same, where I can assign to multiple classes, save as draft, assign points, due dates, and so on. So in this case, if I want to assign this as a regular assignment, I can assign it here without assigning it a topic, and it will populate here at the very top of Google Classroom. Let's say I would like to create a question. Here I can ask a question such as, which Mesopotamian invention do you think is most important? And here I can have the option of allowing short answer or multiple choice. With a question like this, I would probably opt for short answer. And again, I still have the same attachment abilities, and on the on the right-hand side, I can still assign to particular students, classes, add topics, grade, and all that. And here I can also save and schedule drafts as well. So in this case, I want to put my question under my topic, and I will ask students. Here the topic will populate on top of the one from before. If this is something you don't want, you can move your topic or question. Now let's create a material. A material is something that is special. You have fewer options on your right-hand side. You'll notice that I can only assign it to particular classes, to particular students, and I can add a topic. I don't have any options for points because a material is designed to be just that. It is something that students use as part of their research process. So for example, let's say I wanted to add a research document. I could pull something from my Google Drive. I'll just pretend this is a research document. I'll add it. And you'll notice that there are no options for students to view or have a copy of the file. That is deliberate. Materials are meant to be just that, something students can use as a resource tool. I will post this under my topic. And again, it will populate at the top. If I want to move it in a different spot, I can do that here. And lastly, I can reuse posts from other classes if I have them and add them to my current classroom. Or if I decide I want to add them to all my classes, I can still have that option. Now let's look at the People page. This is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is click on the plus sign to add an adult by email or a student in the same way. When you enter their email, You will be offered the opportunity to invite a student, or you can copy the class link and email to all of your students using a learning management system such as Alma. Now let's look at the grading section of Google Classroom. Here you would have a list of students with their grades if they have any. So for example, this student here, I could put in a grade of 90 out of 100, mark as complete, and then return so that the grade will populate into my Google Gradebook. And here you can see the student has a 90% and the class average is a 90%. So if I have multiple students, I can see how my class is doing as a whole based on that overall grade. This is good for collecting data, especially when I have multiple classes working with the same curriculum materials. I may discover one class is mastering the material where another class is not, based on this overall grade, allowing me the ability to change my curriculum. The last feature I would like to show you is the main dashboard feature. I can get there by clicking on Classroom or going home. In this case, I will go home. Here I can move my classes about my dashboard if I would like to order them in a particular way. I also have the ability to review all of my class's work and assignments. I can review them as a whole, as you see here, or I can review them as an individual class, as you can see here. If I have due dates assigned to my classes, I can be looking at them in the work in progress section down here below. Once I've reviewed a class, I can mark as reviewed and it will disappear from my dashboard. However, if I'd like to go back and look at it, here I can see it as a reviewed class. Another neat feature about the reviewed work here is that you can see how many people turned it in, who was assigned, and how many folks are graded. This is a great quick visual to let you as a teacher know what needs to be completed and/or what needs to be graded. To conclude this tutorial, I would like to point out that even though Google Classroom is free to use, there are paid subscriptions school districts can choose to purchase for things such as increased storage space and increased security measures. For example, a paid subscription may offer students and teachers unlimited storage space and a private Google domain that does not allow students to interact with anyone outside of their Google domain. Google Classroom overall is a great tool that is always changing based on teacher and community feedback, and I believe it will continue to be a fantastic resource for both teachers and students in the years to come.